Welcome to One Web Street, the website where you can learn how to increase the number and quality of leads that you get from the online world for your business. In this video, I'm going to be talking about hosting, why it's important for your business, and where you're going to want to move or have your WordPress business website hosted. Now, hosting is a big, important thing for your online presence. As I've said in previous videos, your business website, we treat and recommend and believe that it is your central hub for your business in the online world. There's a few different factors that make up your website. There's the domain name. If you want to go on and have a look at choosing a domain name for your business, then I've done a short video and an article on that on the onewebstreet.com website. There is then the hosting part of your website, which essentially allows the world to view the different pages of your website. Now, if you want to learn about WordPress, why we recommend it, and how to actually build your website and create your hosting account and register your domain name, then if you go to the main onewebstreet.com website, you'll be able to find a guide on the homepage. So, why is hosting important? Well, your business needs to be online and your reputation is important. You don't want your website to be down because essentially it's the shop window, it's everything of your business online. So it's important because your reputation essentially is online and you want people to read about you, attempt to communicate with you, and you want them to share their stories with you. Now, you might think to yourself, yeah, but Nick, I can just go and have a quick Google and see who the best web hosting company is, and it'll be fine. They'll set up all my hosting and everything, and there's tons of choice, and I'll just choose one, and they're all the same, and that's right. And they're not. It's confusing. There's lots of different choices. There's lots of different support packages. There's different prices, and to be fair, I mean, there's lots of different information out there that different companies put on their website to essentially confuse you. At first, when I first started a website back in 2005, it was 2004, it was kind of confusing to understand, well, how much space do I need, and do I need any RAM, and what is that, and unlimited, what is it, unlimited everything? And it's not unlimited, by the way. There's always conditions on certain things. So if you choose a hosting account that, yeah, we're unlimited, you get unlimited space, unlimited email addresses, unlimited everything, well, everybody else is getting unlimited, and there's only so much that you can be allocated. So let's clear a few things up. I'm not going to be talking anything really too technical on hosting. I'm going to try and make it as simple as possible. So, WordPress, they make the content management system, which has all the pages and posts and images, etc. And on their website, I'll just load it up, not as quickly as I'd like, but yeah. They have 3 or 4 or 5 companies that they recommend: Bluehost, Dreamhost, Flywheel, and SiteGround. There's 3 or 4 different companies that we recommend, and then a few extra ones. The first 2 don't recommend. Dreamhost, I've never really liked them. Their control panel's a bit funky, always has been. Their servers are a bit funky. Bluehost used to be good before they were bought out by Endurance International Group, EIG. They also host they also own Site5. So the same parent company owns Site5, Hostgator, Bluehost, a Small Orange, lots of different other sites. I'm pretty sure A2 hosting as well, and other sites like that. Excuse me. You've then got other big mammoths such as Godaddy. Godaddy owns, or is in the process of owning, I think in 2017, or by the time you've watched this video, they'll have probably bought them. Host Europe Group. Host Europe Group have TSOHost in the UK. They have lots of different European hosts, etc. So those kind of hosting companies, they're okay. You've just got to be aware that their pricing model is that, you know, get quite a lot of customers on the server, provide for support by phone. I mean, from my point of view, I always look for ticket support because I'm not going to wait around in a queue on the phone. That's just a waste of my time, I find. Even if you've just got the one website and, you know, what happens if you've got an issue with it? You don't want to be wasting your time on the phone with someone. And lots of times, to be fair, maybe it's me, but they can't really answer my question. So, yeah, there are some issues with the likes of Godaddy, HostinA, one-on-one fast source. Don't really like their support system, their tracking, their clunky control panels where you sign in. It's really weird and confusing. I've mentioned here HostinA, there's a few of them, Hostgator, JustHost, yeah, Fat Cow. There's quite a lot of them. I think there's about 50 or 60 brands that, excuse me, that HostinA have. And then Godaddy with Host Europe Group, they have quite a lot as well. 123 Reg is in that group as well. So who do you choose then? You know, you go to Google and there's lots of different hosting companies. You come to WordPress and Nick, you've told me you won't choose these top two, and well, who am I going to be choosing then? WordPress actually recommends them, or they're here on the recommended hosts. You've got to take WordPress.org with a pinch of salt or a grain of salt, because Bluehost do pay quite a bit of money to sponsor certain events, and all of these hosts do, to be fair. Godaddy also does, but I'm pretty sure Godaddy doesn't pay as much as Bluehost. There's a lot of different websites out there and people such as Pat Flynn et al. That will recommend Bluehost. They do get quite sizable commissions from Bluehost as a company, so for referring people. And simply because we are recommending them on here, myself and Nathan on OneWeb Street, does that mean to say that we'll get some kind of commission? There is a potential and a possibility that we will get some money from if you click through and then register for an account with one of the hosting companies that we're going to recommend. However, it's not the highest one, the highest paying in the industry, most of these companies that we recommend. And you know, they're quite reliable companies. They do things fairly well. A lot of companies like Godaddy, FastHost, their support isn't really great for you as a user. It's great for them as a company. That's how I've always felt. So our top pick is SiteGround. They're a good all-round hosting company. Their support is actually really quite good. The level of English for the support team potentially could be a little bit higher, but they are fast at getting back to you. That's a really good thing. Their servers are quite fast as well, so the computer where your website is hosted they're quite fast, and they don't pack them, or they don't seem to pack them with as many accounts as some other companies like EIG hosting companies seem to do when I've experienced service with those companies. So if I'm talking over Dreamhost or Bluehost or FastHost, whoever it is, then I'm talking from an experience point of view, firsthand. Now, SiteGround has a lot of different options that you can choose from. If you go through to their website, I'm just going to let that page load. Then they've got 3 different packages that you can choose from. We've gone straight through to the hosting page here. If you just click through from OneWeb Street here, it'll take you through to the hosting page. They've got different servers. Where was that on the technology? So they've got different servers over in Chicago, US. I think it's Amsterdam and London in Europe, and then they've got Singapore as well. If you come into here, you can see the prices displaying to me in dollars. If you're in a different part of the world, for example, if you're not in the Americas or you're not or you're in, so actually, I'll rephrase that. If you're in Europe and you generally pay for things using euro or the euro, then you will probably find that this page changes and displays the prices here and here in euros. If you're in UK, then you'll see that they're a little bit different pricing, obviously a bit lower to do with the exchange, and it'll be in sterling. You'll be able to pay in sterling as well, which is a little bit easier and better sometimes than going to the likes of Bluehost, where they always transact in USD, which from my point of view, I know people who are in US are like, yeah, but you know, I love the USD, love the dollar, and that's grand. But for us outside, it's frustrating when we always have to transact in USD and we can't transact in a currency closer to us or one that's a little bit easier for us to work out. So that's what I like about SiteGround. They also have servers that are located near to you. So if we look at, and I am taking Bluehost as an example because it's a little bit easier to take because, you know, they're, I don't really like them that much. I think it's Utah or somewhere central in US. The servers are all located there. Now, you know, if you're in Asia or you're in Europe, then there's going to be that little delay, and it might be half a second, but if there's other things in your website that are making it a little bit slower, then the server location is not going to help you. And you know, if there's lots of other websites, lots of other business websites on that server, on that computer, then they're going to slow down your website as well. So there's lots of many different factors, and there's other videos on One Web Street that I've done that you can look through to see how to speed up your website after you've chosen the hosting. You can click on the step-by-step guide if you want to on how to create your WordPress business website, and I take you through step-by-step with SiteGround on how to set all that up. The second one that we recommend is WP Engine. They've been around for a number of years. They do have different data center locations. So when I've said about SiteGround having computers or servers for your website in Chicago, US, in I think it's London or Amsterdam, and then in Singapore. Well, WP Engine have a similar thing as well. So they have servers located in, I'm pretty sure they have Chicago or East Coast, US. They have, it'd take me a few minutes to actually go and try and find their data centers, because I don't think they advertise them much or they make a lot of noise about it. Pretty sure they have in London. Sometimes though, they cut off certain locations, maybe because the capacity is full in that location, which is okay. You know, it's quite responsible, is that, for them to then say, look, well, we're at capacity in this location, you know, we can't provide you the best service. We'd prefer if you choose a different location or just hang on, you know, and join us at a later stage. They do have WordPress help and experts there, and the support is really good, and it's quite fast. It's probably in some cases not as fast as SiteGround, but you'll actually get a really good answer rather than a pending answer. I can't really say more than that. Sometimes I'll get a reply to a ticket that I'll put in with SiteGround, and I might need to ask a question in a different way or ask an additional question, whereas WP Engine might take a little bit longer, but they'll give me a fuller answer. So it's just for that. You've also got to keep in mind that WP Engine, you'll be paying a little bit more. So their pricing, whoop, no thanks, love it. Their pricing is $29 a month. Pretty sure you can't pay in sterling either, which is an annoyance from my point of view. The GoGeek here is about $15 a month. Always recognize when you're looking at hosting, near enough every single hosting company, another bugbear of mine is that they give you an introductory price for your first invoice. Oh, we're going to give you a great deal. Well, you are, but you're not. You're just doing the usual $90.99 to get you in the door, which, you know, is good, but it's also not so good, because that kind of annoys me. But there you go. If you pay up front with all of these choices, hosting choices, then you will generally get a discount. So you'll get this initial discount with SiteGround. I'm pretty confident after the year, if you pay a year up front, for example, you pay whatever it is, 12 times this $5.95 for the Grow Big. Middle ones, usually, it is for SiteGround. In lots of different companies, it's usually the best value for what you're going to get for your book, your pound, whatever. And if you pay, I think if you pay upfront for a year, you get 2 months free with WP Engine, so it'd be $290 instead of 300 and whatever it is. My maths isn't fantastic. So they are tried and tested. Small hosting company called HostinA. It is directly linked. You'll see here it's directly linked to the same company that owns One Web Street. So a company does own One Web Street. Myself and Nathan do the tutorials, but the same company owns HostinA. So if you want to read about HostinA, you can click through and read about us. It's a little bit different. We have a lot of different more server locations, but I'm not going to talk a lot more into it or about the hosting brand because, you know, some people prefer not to go with a completely new kid on the block scenario, and it's a little bit more than a hosting company. So the likes of SiteGround will kind of help you. WP Engine will help you, whereas HostinA will actually, on the whole, do it for you. So if there's any WordPress updates, etc., then it's kind of hosting with maintenance in there for your business website. So it's worth going and looking, and you treat it as a number. You're not treated as a number, you treat it as a person. You know, you're not going to be customer 352 of 3,000 or 5,000 or whatever it is. And, you know, it's kind of the people on the team know about you, your business, have spoken to you personally, and sort things out like caching issues or optimization issues, ensuring that your website goes a lot faster. Whereas SiteGround and WP Engine, they do have guides, and other companies have guides for you to go through. So, you know, don't think that, oh, well, Nick said that HostinA is better because it's fully managed and they'll take care of everything for you, whereas SiteGround will do nothing. No, they won't. But they'll give you the guides and allow you to experience that yourself. It's whether your time, you know, is worth investing in that, or whether you'd pay quite a bit more. We're around about double what WP Engine is. Whether you want to pay a little bit more and have that peace of mind and have it done and finished and complete. Now, there's other companies that we've used throughout the world and found that they are good. I myself personally, I've probably used about 90 to 95% of the EIG companies, and I wouldn't recommend any of them. Before Site5.com got taken over by EIG, they were great. Their support was similar to what SiteGround was. They were the old SiteGround, and then SiteGround have essentially taken over that I would say position in the market, and I'm pretty sure lots of people would have gone across. Site5 had lots of different data center server locations throughout the world, the Americas, Europe, Asia, Australasia, and they work really, really well. But they're still I'm not sure if the hosting brand has been stopped now by EIG. I'm not too sure about what the story is. It'll probably have changed by the time you're viewing this video. The other one you'll see mentioned as well by WordPress.org is Flywheel. They're really good. Support is great. However, be aware that sometimes support won't always be there on weekends. That's my big thing on why they're not one of our top choices. Flywheel, they have a 9 to 5 Monday Friday scenario whereby they will only respond to emergency tickets in general on a weekend, which from my point of view, if you're in a different time zone like I potentially am sometimes, I don't want to be waiting 2 days to get an answer to a question that I have. If you go in here, then Tiny will probably be okay for you if you're not getting lots and lots of visits. 5,000 visits a month is quite a lot, really, for a small business website, and you can easily transition up. Just as even with WP Engine, you can easily transition up as well. Hawkhost, they usually they've got different server locations in the US. I'm not sure if they've got European ones. I have an account, I think it's on one of their East Coast data centers, and it runs really well. I use them as a secondary to SiteGround. Hawkhost have a good support team there. Response is quite good within an hour on a ticket. I think they have phone support, but I've said before, I don't really look for that. Rochen, or I'm pretty sure their actual pronunciation is Rochen or something like that. They're a Scottish company. They are reasonably small. I don't think they're as big as Hawk, or definitely not as Flywheel or SiteGround or WP Engine. But they are good. It's good hosted, shared hosting environment, essentially where you're with other businesses or other websites on a computer, on a server in the world. They've got 2 separate server locations, which I think are London and somewhere in the US. I'm not 100% confident. I've used them for a couple of years. Their support is reasonable, similar to Hawkhost. They get back, within the hour on a support ticket. However, if you get in more than 1,000 visits a day or 500 visits a day, let's say, for example, if we looked at Flywheel and they say, oh, well, you can have 5,000 a month, or we looked at, where are we? Oh, the middle one is good for 25,000 visits a month. Well, if you get into the top end of that, you'd need to move up anyway. And my opinion is that if you're with Rochen, then they use Lightspeed servers, which is a form of technology on caching, and it is quite good. But if you're getting to that 20,000 visits in the month, then it's going to struggle to cope with it. And that's from experience. They're a really good company. Their servers are quite good. Their support's reasonable. So they're another option to choose. They also do accept sterling as well. So if you look at, if you're outside the USD, and I know I'm going on this, but it is an important thing to me. So you've got SiteGround will accept Euro or USD depending on where you are. WP Engine is USD only. HostinA is USD, Euro, and Pound Sterling. Flywheel, I'm pretty confident, is USD only. Hawkhost is USD only. Rochen is USD or Pound Sterling, depending on where you're hosting. So if you're hosting in US, you need to pay the US company, I think, or you're paying in USD. If you're hosting in the UK data center, then you are going to be paying in sterling, or the ones charging sterling. If you're using PayPal, then some of these companies do accept PayPal. Most of them won't, though. So, if you're paying outside USD and you need to pay USD, then get a nice converting card that allows you doesn't charge you lots and goes on the MasterCard day rate or the Visa day rate, whatever it is, that's good. And if you need a bit more guidance, then we're available, myself and Nathan, at onewebstreet.com. If you're on YouTube, click the description below. If you're on the website right now, then just scroll right to the top or click on this page here. You'll be able to get in touch with one or both of us, and we can talk through whether you're deciding at the moment, whether you need some advice, and what help you need, then we can help you with that. If you've got more than 30,000 visits in the month, so you're up to 1,000 visits a day, or you've got an e-commerce or a WooCommerce website, then I'd suggest reaching out to us. We can potentially either give you the right advice or point you in the direction of someone else that can help you, because I'm the first to admit that if you've got 1 million visits in the month, then I'm probably not the best person to help you decide on which hosting company would be best. My advice would be test. It potentially isn't going to be go to this person because they'll be able to help you better. It would be a case of, well, you probably actually need to go on go into a test environment with different companies. But I would envision that you're probably going to be in the region of 0 to 100 visits a day, so maybe 3,000-ish maximum in the month, and any of these hosting companies are going to be able to cope with that and help you. Now go over to onewebstreet.com or our YouTube channel OneWebStreet and look at some of the other videos to help you speed up your website, or what's known as caching your website. That'll help you if you come into the point where your website might be loading a little bit slow for somebody, a potential customer, client, or even yourself or a team member. So if you need any help, click over to onewebstreet.com, go to that contact page and get in touch with myself and Nathan, and we can have a conversation about moving forward. Take care. Speak to you next time.